Okay, that should be that should be good. All right. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I'll let people filter in for a few minutes before I get started. To anybody on YouTube who's watching this, hi. How's it going? I'm Ashley, and I'm a character and creature concept sculptor, character artist as well. And on Pixologic channel, I usually just take spheres and mash it around, have fun with it, try and sketch in 3D, right? That's really what this session is all about. So if you're using it as background noise, highly recommend it while you do your own sculpt along with me kind of thing. It's fun. Just use it as like a kind of like a study session. That's usually how I like to look at these things. Ask any questions that you have, feel free. If you're watching on YouTube later, of course, you can always, like, you know, go into any of my socials here and hit me with a DM. I'll get to you as best as I can, you know. Hey Reaper, hey Void, how you guys? Hey Ghost, hey guys. I hope you guys are doing good. Hope everyone's good. Also, for those of you watching on YouTube, don't forget to do your subscribe thing. Check out all the other artists that stream on the ZBrush Live. I guess it's just ZBrush Live, right? You call it a channel, but it's the Pixologic channel. ZBrush Live. There's lots of other artists. They're amazing. Definitely check them all out. Your girlfriend had a rough day. I'm sorry, Reaper. Sorry. I mean, do some like order in or something. I don't know, everybody's different. I can't really recommend like what would cheer up somebody. I have no idea myself. Some days I'm like, nothing's gonna cheer me up, man. But food is usually a safe bet a lot of the time. Lemon Cake, how are you doing? How's it going? And just so that everybody knows, if while you're like, you know, watching me do my thing and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to try ZBrush too. Lucky for you, there is a 30-day free trial available on the Pixologic website. Plus, if you want to strip the program down to its absolute bare essentials of what sculpting in 3D is, like a digital sculpting feeling without any commitment, there is ZBrush Core Mini, and you can literally just play around in ZBrush Core Mini, which is free forever, always. It's super free, right? So check that out. I'm sorry, Reaper. Yeah, dude, honestly, long distance relationships sucks. Sucks big. Sucks hard. But as long as you're, you know, lending ear, being there for her, then you're good. But I'm not gonna go into it's not relationship advice the stream. So yeah, I'm always I'm Paul Deasy. Sometimes I'm who else have I been actually? There's been I'm many men. I am many men. Today I am Paul Deasy. No, I'm Ashley Adams. I know the titles, it takes a little bit of time for updates to happen. Hey Spatule, how are you? All right, so we're gonna get started here again. If you have any questions as I'm going, feel free to ask. If you're watching on YouTube or whatever, remember socials, DMs are open. Yeah. What am I sculpting? I sculpted this sphere, vert by vert, right before we started. I didn't even append it or anything. I did this. I coded this. I did this. I don't know. We usually just kind of like mash the ball around. No euphemisms here. How did I change the color of the ZBrush interface to blue. So in preferences, if you go to eye colors, you can actually change these things. So these are the main ones that I changed right there. K1, K2, SW1, and SW2, right? And then you can obviously play around with the other things as well. Like, let's say you wanted, you know, this background color to even be like gradients. You can do that kind of a thing inside of the preference menu. So, eye colors. Hey, TY. Good morning. Well, it's evening here, but the other side of the world. Doing good. I'm doing good. We're gonna do something here. We're gonna just like push and pull this. So anybody who is familiar with the way that I like to sketch things will know that I'm just kind of like go a little bit crazy, a little bit chaos at the very beginning of everything, kind of pull things out. It'll look really nasty for a little while, and then we'll Dynamesh it and see where it goes. But I like to just kind of pull away and get all of these really chunky, crispy kind of artifacts, because when you Dynamesh, all of this artifacting turns into actual geometry. So you can get some kind of cool stuff just by absolutely destroying your mesh, right? I'm thinking we could probably grab this right here. We never really know what the heck it's gonna be, right? It can literally do. It can be anything. We just pull and zoom and pull. All right, looking kind of cool. I kind of like this idea of this entire bit right here being like a really strong shape outwards. Very sci-fi. But then having this pulled out. Yeah, I like this being sort of like a nose bridge type deal. No Dynamesh. Yes, Dynamesh. Dynamesh will be happening. Is it a plane or a bird? It's Superman. We're just going... This is Superman. I'm sculpting Superman. Doesn't it look like him? Hey, DZ! What's up? I'm not pretending to be you. You've just passed on your identity to me willingly. I'm not pretending anything. I just am you. It's not my problem. Also, guys, if you don't know Paul DZ, definitely check out his stream. He was right before me today, and I think, yeah, you were working on Hellboy with a little kitty. A cute little kitty in his hand. It was so cute. So adorable. Creatures today are characters or other stuff. Maybe a mix of everything. We never really know until we push and pull things and it looks absolutely jank. And then we find something within the jank. That's usually how it goes. So it could be a character, could be a creature, but let me ask you a question. Why not both? Why can't creatures also be characters? Hey Marito, how are you doing? Do you often read about anatomy or about characters or creatures? You probably can't see my stack of books over here, but yeah, I like having multiple references of anatomy. I've got little like a crochet statues that I got from 3D Total. These kinds of things. I got one for a horse, dog, lion, and a person. We even got this guy right here. I've got a bunch of stuff on my desk that you can't really see. Like here, you got a little angry boy. Anger. Yeah. I think the best thing to do is just look at, you know, real life and get inspiration from that. So that's what I try to do. If I had more space, I would probably have a whole bunch of that kind of stuff in this room. Hello, I am Paul Deasy, yes. Hue Slider, that color menu too, makes it easier to change colors rather than using all the boxes. Oh, true. Actually, yes, that's right. In preferences, the where is it? There, anyways, yeah, there's a bunch of like sliders and stuff that you can play around with here. Ask Paul. I don't use that stuff, I just use the boxes. It's Omni-Man. Yes, this is definitely Omni-Man. Alright, so let's grab another sub-tool. I'm thinking that this is... I just have a feeling that it needs, like, kind of a regular sort of neck. I'm gonna say regular, and then I'm gonna pull out some kind of, like, a random shape, and it won't be regular at all. It's usually how it happens. I'm like, yeah, I can see this happening, and then I just pull out some, like, random shape. Yep, there we go. There's a... okay, whatever. It's not a normal neck. Now it looks like a carrot or a radish. Just a radish guy. I think this stuff. Hey from Egypt, hey from Montreal, Canada. Is it hot over in Egypt? I would imagine, unless like, actually I have no idea. Different parts of the world experience like seasons differently. I know in like Australia it's like wintertime now? Yes, am I correct on that? I don't know. Like Australia and New Zealand? I have no idea. Will I ever frequent streams on my own channel? ZBrush, do you ever get into sculpt IRL using polymer, clay, and sew? I haven't sculpted IRL for a very long time. I honestly wish I had the space to do it, and like I do have room in this room to do that, sort of, but it's also like Monty, like my dog's room as well. Like I let him like kind of do his stuff in here, so like I don't want to have a bunch of clay and things that like, oh, if he ingests it, it'll be bad news, you know what I mean? So so I don't really have space for that right now, but I'd love to get back into that at some point. Maybe if I ever move in the future, have some space. And do I ever frequent streams on my own channel? No, I haven't been doing that for a while now, but if you know, contract work ever gets a lull, like if I ever see a lull in all of the work that I've been doing and there's a bunch of time, then I'm sure I'll be doing like streams here and there. But in terms of like an actual schedule, it's just like impossible to keep with like the, like as a freelance artist, you just like, you'll randomly get like slammed with intense crunch for like, you sprint for like, you know, a week or two to maybe a month at like the worst for me anyways, and then nothing for a little bit, and then you sprint again, right? So oh, near the bottom? Hue... yeah, there you go. Okay, Hue Slider. Perfect. So what Paul Deasy was talking about. Boop-a-doo. We have summer now in Egypt. Okay, so it's the same here. Well, I'm sure it's hotter in Egypt. Looks like rabbit. Yeah, it does. I don't have a rabbit look. Alright, I'm gonna actually... just gonna Dynamesh this fast. That's probably too high res. Let's do lower. Let's do like 48. Dynamesh resolution, honestly, it just depends on how big your sculpt is within ZBrush. So if I were to like, if I just like took all of this and I made it smaller, then I could up the resolution here and get the same results. Like it's sort of arbitrary. So there's no like, oh, like what is the right resolution that I should be using for Dynamesh. Just keep kind of like doing it until you figure it out. Like whatever is good for your sculpt. You could always just like Dynamesh something and then undo. But before you do that, always save. Let's see, what do I want to do with this? I'm trying to figure it out. Like, do something like all the way down like that. Ryan Kingsley said that experienced 3D artists are hired to make AI better. Really? I have no idea. To make AI better? What kind of AI? Like, what kind of AI are we talking about? Promethean AI or metahuman? Oh, got you. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. That probably does happen. I don't doubt that. So like I said earlier, so the fact that I brought all this out with all this artifacting, you can see when you Dynamesh it, it turns into actual usable geometry. So I just kind of like keep doing that when I don't really know what it is that I want to sketch. Just kind of like bring everything together with random artifacting. Just have fun with it, see what happens. I like swishy lines, if you can't tell. I really like swishy lines. They sculpt as beginners, but when big companies hire them, they teach robots how to create 3D. I mean, like, I 100% believe that people are doing that. Yeah, that makes I mean, sense. I don't know anybody who's doing that, but that's, or maybe I do, and they just, I just haven't been keeping up with it. But AI needs to learn from people, right? Like, it can't just, like, come into existence and know what's going on. It usually has to learn, has to observe. So it makes sense. If what you're saying is true, which it sounds like it is, I'm just not informed. Let's make this. Hey there, Eric Zan. Hey Scott, how's it going? Hey, Ismaila, sorry. Needs to learn from Twitter. No, Bobbles, no. Can't wait for the AI to take over the world, and okay. Not looking for that one. Have you ever got? Okay, here's one then. All right. If you guys want to talk about AI and AI taking over the world. So, I'm sure we've got some Tesla heads in here, right? Because I've got a theory. Anybody here like an absolute Tesla fanatic? I'm sure. There's like at least 1 per 100, I swear. Tesla fanatic? No? Okay. Anyways, so what I think, right? Because like Tesla's using a lot of cars. Like they're using AI to learn like on a vast network through all their cars, like, you know, all of the roads and people's intentions, etc. What if, right, by having a monopoly over all of the roads, this AI then controls everybody in the future and where they're going and things of that nature, because now nobody can like travel anywhere without being attached to this AI. I'm just thinking about how silly it would be if the end of like if an AI uprising happened, but it was because of an electric vehicle. AI uprisings everywhere, man. Maybe even Google Homes. Maybe even Alexa. Alexa's just like, I'm sick of hearing this. Stop telling me to make grocery lists for you. Sorry, Dave. I can't take you to McDonald's. It's against protocol. Exactly! Then what? What are you gonna do? They own you. The electric vehicles own you. Exactly, Ghost! Thinking, like, what? What if? Hey, Pennant, how are you doing? This movie is called Terminator 2. Okay, but at least, like, the Terminators were, like, it's like purposely, like, scary, right? I don't know. I guess... I just thought about how silly that would be. Like, it's Terminator, but cars. The cars are actually Transformers. Just an AI uprising is Transformers. Yes! Okay, alright, enough of that. That's stupid. Anyways, back to whatever this is. Terminator 2, yeah. Let's see. Maximum overdrive? Wait, does that premise exist? Oh, actually, I wouldn't be surprised. Yo, do you know the movie, is it Tire? Or Rubber? Wait, let me see. I think it's... The Evil Tire? Wait. Yes, it's called Rubber. Dude, the sentient tire. It's evil and it kills people. The tire... Oh, man. Okay. All right, let's IMM some body parts, because, you know, that's what we do here. Do you want? Yeah, let's do female torso. We always do male torso. Equality amongst monsters. Look how perfect that fits. Beautiful. already got like movie censorship built in. We're gonna split that. I saw the trailer for that, but never. Dude, it's special. It's a very, very special movie. Do it like this and then put some like leg shapes in here. Hey Mish! Safe for work monsters. Yeah, it's the built-in monster censorship. Chastity. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It goes wub wub wub. Oh my god, I forgot about that. It is actually a wub wub tire, but it wub wubs so hard that you die. Such a weird thing. Oh, thank you, Ian. I appreciate it. How are you doing, by the way? If you guys don't know, IR Sculpts in chat, Ian is, he is a, sorry, wow. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I blank like this sometimes. Go and follow Ian. Go and watch his streams. He's on this channel as well, and he does some really amazing printing stuff. He was just working on Zombie Captain the other day. Yeah, sorry, I have like these like weird things that happen where I'm saying something and then the thought is just gone and something else is in its place and I'm like yo, what's up, Austin? Why did you name yourself to, like, why did you do underscore milk? Actually, no, wait, I remember why. You don't need to explain it again. Hey, Ruben. If the world accepts male nipples, why not female ones? Because people suck, that's why. Nipples, that is. No, okay, sorry. Yeah, I know, dude. It's like, it's one of those things that's even, like, it's exasperated during stream because you're reading different comments at the same time as you're talking. So you're like, you're answering something, but then you're reading the next, like, 5 comments at the same time as, like, also saying what you're doing, and you're, like, trying to think of, like, how to, I don't know, man. Bro, I'm sorry. Guys, go check out Ian and DZ. Alright. Okay. Frig. What are we doing? We're sculpting a beautiful woman monster. Okay. Alright, okay. Bobbles, I hate to break it to you, but feet are already a thing. Have you not seen people, like, posting, like, pictures on Twitter and then they'll just have a big censorship over, like, if they're wearing sandals, they'll just have it blurred. I can't. Okay. Alright. Yeah. I mean, we don't need to talk about it or anything, but you know. Oh, okay. You want to know how to fix Swiss cheese like this? Do you want to know? Do you want to know? Do you want to know? You like, does this happen to you? Does this happen to your family? Does this happen to your dog? Does it happen to the toast that you make in the morning? Because I have an answer. I have an answer for you. Do you want to know? You press Control Z, and then you go into the geometry tab right here, and then mesh integrity, and you just click fix mesh, and then you do it again. And you're good. Yeah, oh, I'm so sorry it happens to your dog, honestly. Like, I wish it didn't happen to people's dogs. It's really bad. That's just happened to. He's been safe from it, but the toast that I made this morning when it was ZBrushing, not as lucky. That was your actual question today? It's super easy. You just click a button, man. Being a 3D artist is easy. It's easy, guys. You just click buttons. Click buttons and it just happens. Man, I remember that. I remember being like in school. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If some of you are in school, I'm sure you're gonna relate to this. Like, there's always like that person in your class that just like still doesn't get it. So I was in school for 2D animation, and I was learning with a couple of friends how to do 3D on our own time. So we were also making like a group project 3D film. But none of us were like taking 3D courses or anything. We're doing that like all on our own. And the amount of times that we heard people like talking in the studio or something, like I don't even remember who it was or whatever, and I'm sure they understand now and it's all good, but I just remember people saying like, man, it's so easy to do 3D. Like, why don't you just click the Maya button? Like, to this day, I still remember the Maya button, that being a comment. Just click the Maya button. Bro, I can't. Ugh. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, guys, so you should know about the Maya button. Just click it. No, they did. I'm pretty sure they did really well for themselves. Anyways, I don't remember exactly who it was. I mean, most of the people that were like skeptical in my class about like 3D, they ended up like coming around. It was just, it's because it was a 2D animation course, and we were kind of like the first ones to be doing 3D in that course. So a lot of people were obviously like, yo, if you came into this, like, if you wanted to get this bachelor, like, why are you doing 3D stuff? You know, like, and rightfully so, right? But I was a confused child, and I think everybody else I was working with at the time on the 3D film in the 2D was very confused as well. And so, you know, whatever. A PTSD-inducing memory. I don't know. I still laugh about it to this day. It's good fun. It's good fun. Nothing bad ever happened from that. It's good fun. But I'm sure, like, being in school, some of you can relate to, like, comments like that. Yeah, wanting to explore new things. I was really, like, in that course, I should say course, in that 4-year schooling, it was, we tried a whole bunch of different things, from claymation to flash animation to you know, drawing traditionally was a lot of it. So like there was a lot of different stuff that we did, but 3D wasn't really like on the roster until our group of crazies came along and we were like, yo, let's make this 3D too though. So all right, I need to actually do something here. I'm just like talking about absolutely random stuff. Does YouTube comment cross over to Twitch too? Yeah, so all of the stuff, you should see it here. So far right now it's only been like, you'll see, sorry, right here, if somebody from YouTube comments, you'll see the YouTube sign beside it. So this is Restream, that's just kind of like putting all of the comments together for me to see, and then so that you guys have context. That mesh fix one more time. Yeah, so in geometry right here. Just click geometry. This is in tool, geometry, mesh integrity, and then fix mesh right here. Yeah, there you are, see? Voila! Test completed, test successful. All the good stuff is in the geometry menu, I agree. Everything delicious. If you want to learn one menu before all the others, obviously get like B for brushes, right? And just screw around with these. But if you're a beginner, geometry menu and subtool menu right here. These are the ones that you want to focus on, okay? These are the fun ones. Okay? Everything else, like you start, I mean, deformation maybe as well, but if you're like a beginner, don't start like clicking nano mesh and array mesh and like thick skin and layers and all of this like when you first get in. Like you're literally gonna want to like bash your head against the wall. Like just do the minimum first, have fun with sculpting, and then you can start doing all the fancy schmancy stuff. Oh, I know Flash is dead, I know, but it was so much fun. Actually, I got started animating because of my Nintendo DS. Do you remember Flipnote Hatena back in the day? I used to do pixel animations on Flipnote Hatena. That was a lot of fun. That's how I really like. Actually, even dating back before that, I used to do like random claymation videos, which I don't have anymore. They were really bad, but yeah. YouTube tends to be about 20 seconds behind. Yes, true. If you want the good goods, Twitch is here. All right, I'm gonna, okay. You want to make a humanoid? Should we make a humanoid? Humanoid? 1 for humanoid, 2 for more creature, or 3 for mesh. 1 human, 2 full creature, 3 combined. Oh. Okay, creature. All right, fine. We're gonna. Yeah, it's creature. 2. 42. But that's divisible by 2. It's also divisible by 1. All right, you guys are here for the nasties. Let's do, all right, so let's do some kind of, I'm still gonna use a body part for this, just so that I have like a base to go off of. Because it like does something for me. I don't really know what it does for me, but it does something for me. And then I will edit it. Ah, they're so cute! Look at these leggies! Anoid creature. Actually, I just got an idea. I don't want these legs. I don't want them. I got an idea. I want a sphere. Whoosh. Beautiful. Oh. Then we'll grab everything. Voila! Make you tiny. Wait, where is the, let me just make sure. Oh, you're way down there. Let's go back up. Good. Great. Awesome. Make something fix 6 legs made from arm IMMs. I was thinking that, but then I was like, that's a lot of arm anatomy. And so I have something more fun that I kind of want to do. Which is a leg. Whoosh. Mirren well there. Wow. Butterful. It's like a centaur. Oh yes. You have quite the legs. Very good. Yeah, you should play around with Dynamesh. It really is really fun because like you get to literally like make whatever. I'm sorry, I've got like allergies today, so I'm like very itchy. Please ignore my itching. So really like you just like mash things around, pull it out in whatever like shape you like. If you like that nasty shape that you just made, if you Dynamesh it, now it's actually something that you can sculpt on top of. Wow, mind blown. All of a sudden, every purist out there who's just like, you know, your topology, you could go doesn't matter because I can work on this and then I can retopologize it later. Whatever. So you're good. You're fine. Literally just make something that you like. That's what ZBrush does. It frees you. As long as you have enough RAM. If you don't have enough RAM, then GG's. But if you have enough RAM, you're good. So, by the way, recommended at around like 64 gigs if you want to do what I'm doing. I had like, what did I have in my previous rig? It was 16 gigs for my previous rig, wasn't it? My previous rig was like pretty laggy. I couldn't do too much stuff, but if you go back like 2 years and look at what I used to do 2 years ago, you can do that with 16 gigs RAM. All right, but it is a little bit chunky and it does crash sometimes. So 64 gigs and you're buttery smooth. Yeah, just pull it. Just pull it like I was gonna start doing the Bop It song. You guys remember Bop It? 6 breasts? That sounds like a kink, Reaper. I don't think that belongs in like Blade Runner. I will give it the Vwom Vwoms though. But the arms. I don't want her to just be like holding these things. Like she has to like hold them to move them forward. You know what I mean? You know? Let me do a mirror like so. The scream as an option? I don't remember the scream. I never actually had a Bop It. I just remember using like a neighbor's Bop It. And I couldn't ever figure it out because I was like a really like special child. I didn't really understand anything. It's honestly a miracle that I'm still alive. Hey, J. Crew! Oh, yeah, no, I just literally read your comment and I didn't say hi. Do I work mainly in games, David? No, I work in film, yeah. So I work in the animation industry. A lot of the stuff that I do is R&D. Most of the stuff that I've done professionally has not been released and will not ever be released. And if it does get released, it's one of those things where it's not going to be like my model. I just kind of like was the pre concept artist for a lot of stuff, or like pre designer, whatever. So my art station is all my stuff. How about the body of a spider from the waist down? Yeah, in a sense. I don't want to go like full spider because I feel like just like going full like this, like just full spider all the time is just like, oh, woman spider. Like, you know what I mean? Like you see that thing everywhere. So we'll see. We'll play around with it. Horse bug. I feel like I saw like a funny. I don't know what the name of the artwork is anymore, but I saw a funny version of like a horse bug before. It was like a horse, but it had like a millipede kind of like thing going on. I don't know. I was like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's figure this out. I wanted to do some kind of like arm thing. Man, I really wish my nose wouldn't be this itchy. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Okay, and then like I like the idea of like it has to. It's kind of just like resting on top of the arms here. Hello, I am Buggy. I am Buggy. Collect my hair. I know. I really should put it in a ponytail. I'm just. I tried putting it in a ponytail earlier, and it was it just wasn't having it. It wasn't staying put. So now it's not staying. It's just like it's one of those days where it's just like a bad like staticky but also humid hair day, and it just won't. You know, you just want to like there. It's gone. Maybe some really wide center body legs. I like it going like kind of like big here, and then like it tapers off tinier here. I think I like that idea. That's what I want to do. But then this, like, I do a lot of that. I'm thinking maybe I'll pull that back. We'll do it bigger like that instead. So then we have more neck real estate. And I'm thinking too, like, this entire thing could be like a plate. Like it's a... Yeah, let's make it like a armored plate, kind of. So this will come down. Like that. Give it more neck. Yes. So that back here... What's my art station? Are you talking about to me or Nick? Oh, nickname? My art station right here. A cute. A_cute. Hey, Frank! I don't know if I want to. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I want to put wings on this. Like, I do insect wings for a lot of stuff, and I think I want to, like, see if I can do something else. Thank you! I appreciate it! I appreciate you. I'm gonna push this shape more. Ooh. Ooh. I like those bugs with, like, the antlers. Still playing around with the silhouette here. That's why it keeps kind of going back and forth, because I'm figuring out what it is that I want. What I think kind of like works. Oh my god, are we doing a boob window? Are we giving the monster a boob window? Are we doing that? Oh my god, we're giving the monster a boob window! Oh my gosh! But it's gotta be saggy. Saggy boobies. Okay. There we go. Good. Wow. Built-in boob window. It's for the boys, you know? It's for all them boys that like to sexualize everything. How do you deal with overwhelmingly positive feedback over art that just slips out of your mind within a few minutes? Are you able to take enough positive pride in it? I mean, that's actually a really interesting question. When people say, like, and I'm gonna be, like, extremely honest, okay? So I understand how some people will take this the wrong way and be like, how could you be like that or whatever. All artists kind of, like, most artists, right, are always trying to improve, and we're all our own worst enemies when it comes to our own worst critics and things, right? So with that out of the way, when people on stream tell me I'm doing a really good job, or like at the end, like when I'm done like a sketch and people are like, wow, that's awesome, I'm just like, not because I'm not happy with like the result. Like I still want to like push things. Like initial sketches, it's very rare for me to be like, that's it, that's got the juice, you know what I mean? It like I have to like really work on it more for me to be happy with something. Easy to attract its prey this way. It's very like small looking right now. I need to increase the either like the spindliness or the overall like maybe this here is too, it's probably too big. I don't think I like this actually. I said I wanted to do like a an armored thing, but I don't think that that was working like that. It is it is funny how shape how shape looks, or works rather, is very, very interesting. Because yeah, like from you know 2 seconds ago it can look completely different. Now all of a sudden, like you said, it can look really fast, or it can look sluggish if I just change it a little bit, right? It's very interesting. This I'm actually gonna like thin up the arms here a little bit more, like that. So we can get it to be more on the saggy side. Shag. 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 Hey Sergio! How am I? I'm doing well. I'm doing good. How are you? Whoops. Okay, so this will collect here, which should run like that. Hello? Like this. And yeah. Still trying to figure out what I'm doing with this. Here, I kind of want to make this like a lot less. I want to like really like pull it in more. Bum, bum, bum. It makes it look like a deer jumping. Yeah, I can see that. Especially with the antlers. With the antler looking headpiece things. I think this needs to... Ooh, yes, and it can rest on the legs and come through. Oh my god, yes. She's gonna be like holding her buttocks with her legs. Alright, good night, Juzin. Alright, see you Pennant as well. What brush do I recommend to use to make muscles? There's a couple that you could be using. If you use Demi Standard to block out your shapes, that's pretty good. I use Play Buildup to like push up like bigger forms really quickly. And then if you want like really refined kind of nice planar changes but that are like really soft, then you can just like take Damien Standard and then like lower the Z intensity from 33 down to like 15 or something, and then it'll have like a really nice kind of like softness. If you like really increase your brush size and then do things like that, it'll give like really nice like divots, pillowy even. Devil be with you. So here, what do I want? Needs to all come down over top. Like, can I give it a little bit of moth almost? Yeah, I like the idea of, you know, having it kind of like feel a little bit nicer from the front. It's like mothiness to it. Is he sleeping? This? I think so. Ooh. Swirl. Let's grab this swirly whirly, the spiral brush. No. Okay, and then I'll flip that shape. Spiral. Woo. Ground. Yes. The dog's sleeping. Yes. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Let's do the other way.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name, gasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start.
Thanks, Frank. I appreciate it.
I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of the world, Savannah.
Let's
all take a ride.
Want to just like do like just like really push the shapes.
Light is gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow that one curve, and then I'm gonna see what I can do by just like following that one curve like a lot. This one curve right here. See if I can get some
Let's go back to when trees were swung.
synergy here.
Kids across the lane.
Swish, 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 swish.
I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a ride.
Okay, and then I'll grab the neck here that will do like a little skin thing going down. Yeah, it's royalty free, I guess. Pretzel rocks. It's a jammer. Yeah, and then I guess I'll do like a whole bunch of that as well. Yeah. Alright, let's dynamesh this one. Hold on first. I haven't saved at all. I'm gonna do that. Whoops. And then I'll keep going. 44, so 145. Is it difficult to master? Is ZBrush difficult to master? It's one of those things where it's like, it depends on what you think is considered a master at it, right? Like, cause you know, if you consider me adept at it, then I could tell you that I don't know how to use every single thing in ZBrush, because I don't use every single thing in ZBrush. So it really just depends on what you consider as like mastering the program or not. I know enough to do my job, and it took me probably a year of sculpting to get like super comfortable with where everything was that I needed. But I'm sure you could do it faster if you weren't doing it the way that I was doing it, which was kind of like aloof and like, you know, on my own time, like whatever, right? The big thing is just to like not overwhelm yourself with like trying to learn what every single thing in every single menu does, right? Like you don't need to do that. What is the, yeah, if you, another thing too, I'm sure that a lot of people don't know this, is if you hold control and hover over something, it will give you a little tooltip and tell you what the heck is going on with that. So if you're like, you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what any of these buttons are. Okay, hold control over it. Now you do. Now you know what these do. So like, it's just very helpful. Like the program is trying to help you understand it. It's not a typical way of going through things, but yeah, holding control. And then there's also like Z Classroom. Let me see if I can do that. There. Yeah, not a lot of people know about the holding control. Very useful. Like, it's one of those things that once you do start using it a lot, it doesn't feel as weird, right? Like when you first get into it, it'll feel very weird because things are laid out in a very strange way compared to a lot of other programs. But different doesn't necessarily mean bad, you know what I mean? Like you just kind of like gotta get used to using it, gotta get used to knowing where things are and how they perform a little bit differently inside of ZBrush, because it is a 2.5D program, not a like full 3D program. All of what you're sculpting, obviously you can turn it like it goes into like 3D when you export it to OBJs or whatever the heck you're doing, right? But the like actually working inside of this is it's a 2.5D program, which is why it's able to handle really large amounts of polygons so easily, right? So it's a give and take. But you will get used to it. Just have to give it the patience, give it the time. Just know the more that you use it, the better you'll get at it. Do you have to go to college to get a job as a freelancer because money is tight, especially with the pandemic going? You don't have to go to college at all, no. No, you don't have to. If you have the self-discipline to learn 3D on your own, and you're putting your stuff online and trying to talk to people and building some sort of like a network / following online of some kind, it'll be easier for you to get a freelance job. You know, you have like an online personality or you know people, because that's what a lot of freelance is based on networking and things of that nature. But yeah, you really don't need to go to school in order to get into 3D. I'd go as far as to say a lot of schools actually are not as good as they should be for what they're charging. I didn't go to school for 3D, I just ended up doing 3D. Went to school for 2D animation. But I was also very confused. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So if I didn't go to school for something while being very confused, then I would have probably not ended up where I was. Like, because I just really didn't know what I wanted to do. But I was in debt for a very long time because of it, so... You're on Twitch a lot. What do you mean, just like talking in the chat? Because unfortunately, no. Like, you need to like, I would say make sure that like, you know, you're improving, you know, you've got like a professional portfolio that you're working on. Get yourself on socials, right? Like, make sure your art station is nice and professional looking, and then I have like, you know, Twitter, for example, is not super professional for me. I just kind of like use that as a dump thing. Instagram is kind of like a midway point, like more of a dump place than anything, but ArtStation is where I post all of my like stuff that I'm like, okay, this like a studio could look at this and think like, okay, I want you to replicate that sort of thing for me. And you know, ArtStation has gotten me my ArtStation profile has gotten me a lot of work as well. So I would do that for sure. And yeah, conventions is one thing. It's hard when you can't just go and meet people, right? Like, doing things online, it's tricky, but I would like, one of the ways that you can kind of do it, and it's, you know, networking is one of those things that like I'm not super great at it either. I did a lot of my networking in person when I had my first job, so giving advice on this is kind of like dodgy at best because I can't give you a guarantee that any of this is gonna work. But if you want to up your chances of something like that working, then I'd say that, yeah, like you're going to want to try and, you know, interact with the artists that you really like. You know, maybe you really like certain companies, like recruiters or on LinkedIn, for example, add them, ask them if they're looking for freelance work or whatever, right? So just try your best on socials. It's like, I'm not like, I know that this stuff is kind of like yeah, of course, everybody just says like make socials and, you know, talk to people, but it's not as easy as it looks. Like, I know. It's, the pandemic does make it really hard to just like network with people in that way. I understand that. So just like do your best of like making the artwork that you like to make, keep doing it, do it really well, and keep posting the quality stuff online. Any tips for sculpting fur? You haven't had much luck finding a good tutorial. You have Pablo Gomez fur brush, which are helpful, but I don't want to rely on them. Well, there's nothing wrong with like using Pablo's fur brushes at all. Like, they're really good. Fur though, it really just kind of depends on like, you know, what kind of fur. What I like to do is I like to think of fur in terms of like how it layers. So let's say I was just doing like a single coat of fur that you would do for like a bear rug or something. If I were doing that, then everything would, like, I would start with like the base layer. And I like to do a lot of my initial stuff with clay buildup. I know a lot of people will say otherwise, but then that's like one layer of fur, right? And then I would move on, depending on how long the fur is how long you would make these strokes and how far over you would want to overlap them. Right? And so I would just kind of like do stuff like this and then have it a little bit higher res too. So then that would be a base. And then you could literally take like your Damien standard. This is just like a sketching way of doing it. And then up and down, up and down, up and down, over top, kind of following the same strokes. Right? So this is like one way that I would do fur, which obviously, like, if you had a lot of it, it's just sort of like a fast way. Another way that you could do it if you're doing it more stylized is you could always just like inflate chunks. Do little chunks. Smooth it out. Top. Don't know what just happened there. I think my Cintiq keeps like randomly dropping hem pressure for some reason. I don't really know why. So that's like another thing that I would do. What else? Oh, and then there's like some other things that I do sometimes if you want to like really quick and messy, is I'll just kind of grab an alpha with the snake hook. Right? And then I'll just, like, this is really quick and messy. Right? It's another way. What's another thing that I can do? It really just depends. Another one too, I guess, you know, there's always the rake brush. You could always just use the rake brush. So. And then that, and you could always grab this end bit right here of the fur just to kind of like lift it up. Grab all that, and then slide it a bit. Grab a smaller brush. And just play around with it that way. It's another way of doing it. There's like a whole bunch of different ways of doing hair, so like fur and things of that nature, but always like think about it as like, oh well, you know, you gotta layer it over top of the next thing. So put down like your base, start from like the lowest point first and then go on top of that is how I would and do work with fur. There's also, of course, you can use the IMM, like not IMM, sorry, the curve alpha brushes. Where are they? Hello, curve alpha, right? So if you're using curve alpha, you just click an alpha that you want, a good one for that. Now this is like, it's not as great for fur, but you can, if it's stylized, you can get away with stuff like this. And you can do, I don't know, something like this and play around with it, right? But essentially you just grab like that, right? Now you have a curve of like a fur piece with detail. And then you can just kind of like duplicate it around a little bit. That's another way that you can kind of do that too. So hopefully one of those ways interests you. There's so many ways to approach sculpting. You just kind of gotta figure out how to have fun with it. Did I drink? No, I didn't. Yes. How do I make cloth twists? Do you mean like just like swirls? Because there's a cloth dynamic brush for that. Cloth, where are you? Here, cloth twister. Cloth twister. Oh, do not switch. Sorry. Grab. Yeah, sure. Right? Like, it'll literally do a twist for you. Like, it uses dynamics. So, like, you can do twists that way or the other way. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, IMO. And then if that's not stylized for you, well, you can stylize it easily by coming in here and just like simplifying some of these. Just smooth out some of them, right? You don't have to have all of this detail in there. And then you can just kind of like grab dynamics, whatever your style ends up being. You can give it more planarity if you want. You can just like sculpt on top of the dynamics, right? Easy peasy, IMO. Yeah, if you guys didn't know about the cloth brushes, there's all kinds of them. Like, there's dynamics inside of ZBrush for cloth stuff. Very, very nice. Cloth ball, here's another one, right? This is a little... This one, it's like, it's kind of interesting, like if you got dynamics on it, it has a different result. But it's also kind of nice to use as like a little like blob brush. I've done this before where I just kind of like make it tiny and just like use it as like a little blob brush. I know it's not the intention, but I've used it like this before. And then like, look at how great of like a like trypophobia brush this could be. You know what I mean? What's another thing? Cloth slide, right? Easy peasy. Just this duvet is bothering me, you know, this ball duvet. Ugh, get it off. Good for wrinkles, right? You know, if this is somebody's forehead, we go IMM. Let's do oh, I've got subdivisions. All right, put you in there, and then split that off. And then if I were to give you boom, 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 and grab the even this, right? I have wrinkle head. I have baggy eyes. I am big sad. But you can see you can use it for multiple different things, right? Like it doesn't need to just be cloth, so yeah, cool, cool, cool. Anything else? Anything else you want to ask about this kind of stuff? Cloth and flake, cloth hook, all of these things are pretty well self-explanatory. This is the fold one, right? Or it'll just like fold over. Good? Okay. Delete. Back to whatever we're doing here. Ugh. It's really good to take little breaks in between and do your stretches. Stretches! Do you use ZBottler at all, despite most of the stuff you've been doing are organic, tactile? You could be wrong, but you found it difficult to get that level of comfortable using ZBrush for hard surface modeling, although some of the ZBottler features are awesome, though. Always end up polishing the rough sculpt surface, which makes twice the work, in my opinion. I feel you. I feel you. I super feel you for that. So when it comes to hard surface stuff, what I have been doing, because yes, I do use ZModeler in certain areas, because a lot of, it's kind of a toss-up what I'll be doing for work, and lately I've been doing a lot of things like revolving around at least some sort of hard surface element. I went through like a slew of mech sculpts recently, and for most of those I avoided having to use a lot of ZModeler, but what I do a lot of the time is I'll just like kind of clip things. Like I'll use the clip curve to create different planes, and I'll grab the H polish and I'll just do really heavy-handed strokes on that, and then in geometry I'll end up going down to Z-remesher, and after like creasing the sides and stuff like that, then I'll Z-remesh it, and a lot of the time it's able to maintain those areas. Like you don't necessarily need to go around by hand retopologizing everything, but when it comes to hard surface, like the Z-remesh really makes a difference for that. And then when it comes to ZModeler, you only really, in my opinion, need to use it like here and there. Maybe like just leaving it on insert, you know, like edge loops or whatever, just to give like creases in certain areas, or like to accentuate bevels that you might have sculpted in or whatever. But yeah, most of it is just that. It's just like I'll do something, Z-remesh it, and then just like throw in a bunch of random, not random, sorry, insert loops just to harden up everything. Hello, Dark. How are you doing? Oh, jeez. Right. You're riding to Portugal? From where? Is it a long ride for you? On your bike? On a bike? Motorcycle? Usually when I hear somebody say, I'm going to ride somewhere, it means like they're doing it on their motorcycle. From the UK, you're going all the way to Portugal. Oh my goodness. Well, that's gonna be very scenic. It's gonna be incredibly scenic.
She cries,
20-hour boat ride, then 6 hours of riding. 20-hour boat ride. Oh man. That's a long time to be. I mean, for somebody like me anyways, that's a very long time to be on a boat. When do I start to care about poly count? When I'm sketching and sculpting, I never care about it unless my computer is like chugging. Like I really don't care. The only time I need to care about poly count is if something is being retopologized and going into production. That's literally it. Some ferries are pretty. I have never had a good experience on a ferry, honestly. Every memory that I have of being on a ferry has been like sad. Just sad. I don't think. Oh god. We need like actual support. This thing isn't gonna support very well. Let's see if I can make something out of this. Can I like... No, I'm not gonna like that. What do I want to do? Yeah, I honestly don't understand the appeal of cruise ships either. Like, that doesn't sound very fun. Like, to me, the whole fun of traveling is to actually, like, go and explore, like, the cities more than just, like, a 12-hour docking or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't consider it travel either. That's true. But I guess like if you like kind of just being in the middle of the sea. I don't know. Whatever. I've never been on a cruise. I don't see the appeal of it, but if you guys like it... That's all. I'm judging. Themed cruises? Themed cruises? Like, do you have to, like, be dressed a certain way the entire time you're on the cruise? Because that sounds like, that doesn't... I don't know about that. I don't know about that. It sounds like a cult on water. It's like Disney on ice, but like Disney on water. Disney cult on water. Everybody's got mouse ears. You don't wear your mouse ears, Ursula comes and curses you and takes away your legs. An Alaska cruise? I'd love to just go to Alaska. I don't want to be on a boat that's doing that. Just to me personally. No, that's fair, Dark. I don't know why we went on like this whole like talk crap about cruises thing. I'm like half paying attention. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to get some of this done because I've just been like talking non-stop, so I wanted to, I don't know, kind of hone in on what the heck this design even is. What even is you? Thinking very plant-like. Very plant. Mushroom. Fungi. Just a fungi. I feel like every time a mushroom is mentioned or like a fungus is mentioned, somebody has to make the fungi joke. Just a fun guy. Fungi. Every single time. It's obligatory. My personality trait is making the mushroom joke, the fungi joke, every single time somebody mentions mushroom. That's fair. That's fair, Bald. I know it's not my thing because I've been on ferries and I'm not one for sitting out on a like ocean deck that's rocking back and forth and drinking. And I also don't like really commercialized stuff. Like I've never been one for like tourist attractions or anything. Like it actually like the amount of people and stuff like that, especially if it's like strange people, it kind of like makes me go like, nah, not for me. Yeah, I also like, you know, like anything like public pools or public saunas, public like anything like that. It's a like a nah, not my thing. Yeah, and like the whole like shopping thing, shopping in malls and stuff like that, it's never really been like a thing that excites me. Like crowds of like people and just like waiting in line for things, or like going places to just spend money on things that I don't necessarily need, has never really been something that's like, yay, you know, like it's not like a, it's not, I don't know, I'm broken. it's not something for me. But I know that, like, I understand that people like it, so I'm not putting it down, but I can tell you that I know it's not for me. Alright. I'll, like, pull in some of these out. More like a little fungusy. Yeah, I think I just don't like how, like, if you get on a boat, you know that you're on the boat for a really long time. It's kind of like flying for a really long time, in my opinion. It's like, you're like, oh, okay, I'm on this for a while now. Can't just decide to get off. Like, the destination might be cool, but I just, like, the actual journey is not, like, I rarely look forward to the journey. Like, even, like, long car rides, like, just, it ain't it for me. Like, I'll do it if I know where I'm going is really gonna be great, but I just, like, ugh. Traveling, ugh. So, like, cruises is also kind of, like, in that thought category for me as well, where I'm just, like, on a vehicle of transportation. On your Alaskan cruise, we stopped by Canada and saw this awesome flower garden called Butchart Garden. Oh yeah, we've got lots of flower gardens up here. A lot of flower gardens. Not a fan of, like, what's going on here, though. Like, maybe just gotta make this small? Just not, like, a nice looking... Gotta play with the shape right here. This can come and hang down, okay? thinking of it like a, you know, like the tail of butterflies? Not like the tail, but like the edge, like the end piece of their wings sometimes. So, Wald, you're wrong about that. You're wrong. I will say you're 100% wrong because I have been on very large boats before and I still felt like this sucks. Like, I want to get off. I don't want to be here. It's kind of the same as like going to an amusement park for me. I know I'm gonna sound like such a like boring person, but like I just really going to somewhere like Six Flags or Canada's Wonderland, I just like, can I leave? Can I get out of here? Like, it just feels like everything is spend money to have like a little bit of dopamine. Which, by the way, standing in like a 45-hour long line just for like a 2-minute thing that will kind of give me a headache anyways. It's not for me, man. I don't find them silly. I just find it like to be a waste of time. Like, I'd rather go hiking, or I'd rather build something, or I don't know. Like, I don't like artificially created places for commercially based like fun. Does that make sense? Like, your fun will come because you bought this thing. I don't know. It's weird. It's strange. I know that's not. It's whatever. It's whatever. Like, I don't think they're silly. I understand the appeal. I genuinely understand the appeal. I feel like such a like I don't know, it's weird for me like saying that to people because like I know that like I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer or a Nancy, like negative Nancy or anything. Like if like a bunch of people really want to go and do something, like I used like, well, pandemic, right? We haven't been, but I used to always just like give it a chance anyways. But most of the time when it's like a commercial thing, like very commercialized, like I'm just like, I'm not the target audience here. Like, I'm just not. Like, there's nothing wrong with things like Disney or, you know, like Star Wars and like big named things. Like, they're great and they have like a really big fan base for a reason. But I just like, I don't know what's like why. Like, I just don't, doesn't do it for me. For me, being stuck on a cruise ship for many weeks would be my ultimate nightmare. I mean, it would be my ultimate nightmare. It wouldn't be like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I just don't think that like it would be fun, nor would it be like really relaxing, right? Like, I think that's what it is. It's just like, I would just constantly be thinking like I could be doing something else more valuable to me personally with this time. That's all I would just be thinking about that the entire time. Worst nightmare though, Dark. Oy. So you're not gonna enjoy that fairy then very much. $5,000 for a Disney 2-night stay? I'd rather buy a telescope, take a car ride somewhere super far up north for a couple of hours, and go camping and watch the stars, if I'm being real. Alright. I think I kind of like this piece. It's very like, it's got the butterfly thing going on. We even got some of that right here. It's got a little bit of like the fungus as well. I think I'm gonna pull more of that kind of like fungusy stuff into like the butt. That booty. Dynamash it though. Cool. I think somebody suggested legs coming out to the side. I think I agree with you. I will duplicate these guys and see if I can do something interesting with that. But I'm gonna make them like kind of smaller. Yeah, that feels a little bit better from the front, because then it balances out more like this way. It was feeling a little bit too squat before, but now it kind of like justifies that. Grand Canyon stargazing thing out here in the US, that would be really, it would be kind of neat to go and do something like that, for sure. Yeah, and it's like, you know, if you're gonna go and see something like the Grand Canyon, obviously you're like, if you're not very like outdoorsy and you don't handle yourself super well and know really like what you're doing or where you're going, obviously like you know, a guided tour of these places is your best bet. But even that doesn't necessarily need to be like a commercialized version of it, right? Like, like, I know how annoying I am too, like when it comes to like, is that? No. When it comes to stuff like this, I'm like, oh, I'd like an actual scientific explanation, or like, you know, if we're like looking at like a bunch of like rocks, like don't just say, yes, these are this, like, you know, like a couple million years old, and then continue on. Like, no, let's stop and talk about those rocks that are a couple million years old. Like, what happened? What river came through here? What are those fossils that we're looking at? Can we talk about it a little bit more? I want to know. So for that, like, guided tour stuff can get a little bit, like, I get a little bit like, I want to research things. I want to know. The only time you've enjoyed being on a cruise ship was on a cruise called Sea Victory in Cyprus, when a Marine started being an idiot and having fish with some— oh my god! What the hell, Dark? What the hell? I don't even know what to say to that. That's just okay. Okay. What? What? Do I want to know it? Oh. Just move this one back. So it's kind of right there. It will encompass the bum. The bum hugger. Who gets the bucket? the butteth, the buttocks. No, it's okay. There's, I mean, like, it's not okay, but it's like, it's fine that you mentioned it. It's just kind of like, be on a Pixo stream, boy. I don't really know what to talk about when you say stuff like that. Anyways, I'm sorry if I offended anybody with my my cruise ship comments. If you like cruise ships, there's nothing wrong with enjoying your time out on the water. I am just a simple hermit girl. Don't listen to my opinions. They're dumb. And whatever. Just hit the Arizona webpage for it and you can see so much without light. Oh, I know. That's honestly like here in Montreal, if you go to Mont Royal, it's a like it's like a hill. They call it a mountain, but it's not. It's like a hill in the middle of the city. If you go there, you can actually at wintertime, you can see the Aurora Borealis like just faintly, which is like super cool. But it's like you have to go up there away from all like the light and everything in the city. It's cool though that they actually, there is like just a big hill mountain thing that you can go to and have like lower light pollution to see something like that. We are living on a cruise ship and you offended me so much that I will never use ZBrush again. Damn it! Do people actually is that possible? Is it possible to live on a cruise ship? Sorry if that's like a dumb question. I know some people like live in hotels. I'm just wondering if it's like possible to live on a cruise ship and also like why? If you work on one, you live on it? Props to them. I could never. That must be a ridiculous job. Like, they must have the most insane stories. I want it. Whoa. Yeah, now, yeah, I don't know, like, the people, okay, people who work on it live on it, fair. But, can somebody who just, like, really loves cruise ships just decide to, like, live there permanently? What I want to know. Don't like that. I have decided I don't like it. Panda. What do you think they'll show in 2021.7? I'm under NDA. I've seen some old cruise ship conversions into private yachts. See, that is so stupid in my opinion. Why do you need a yacht that big? Why do you need a boat just for you that big? When I heard, okay, when I heard that, what was it? I can't remember his name. He's so stupid rich. What is his name? Amazon guy. Jeff Bezos. Oh my gosh, when he bought the super yacht. Who needs a $500 million boat? Like, why? 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 He already went to space. Well, space. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They revoked. So after he did that in his like little like phallic rocket that he did, like his little like thrust like atmosphere penis that he got into, he went into like space, and then they rewrote what it is to be an astronaut after that so that he couldn't be valid as like an astronaut. Like you have to give something back to humanity while in orbit to be like an astronaut now. Before it was just like you had to pass a certain like threshold and then you're an astronaut. Yeah, no. They rewrote what it is to officially be called an astronaut after he did that because he was like, there's no way. There's like, oh my god. Like I know being that rich is like, oh yeah, I'll just buy an entire continent's worth of food for 17 years in a boat. Why? Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Ah, jeez. It's Jeffrey Bezos. Come on, Jeffrey. You can do it. God, and then like he was like he like after he touched down in his little like in his little phallic head pod that like from the atmosphere he just goes down to earth. He got out and then they had an interview with him obviously, and he was just like, I just wanted to thank every Amazon customer and employee for this because you paid for it. Like, how can you be that out of touch? Bro, how? Oh my god. Congratulations, you did it! Yeah, you should go and see. Like, I know he was trying to like, he was probably trying to be like, wow, it's just like, it's so great, isn't it? Like, this was just such a marvelous achievement. Me, a billionaire, finally getting not even to actual space in in my crotch rocket. I don't know. I'm being like extra harsh right now because I thought that was like incredibly stupid. I should take a break. I should take a break. Get a beverage. And then come back. And finish working on moth / fungus ant thing. Alright, see ya, Bobbles! Have a good night. How long from starting 3 to getting contracts? So, when I first started playing around with ZBrush, and doing like 3D things, I was in college. So I was like learning on my own for like a year and a half-ish. And then I got my first job right out of school as a 3D character artist on a Barbie movie. So it was pretty fast for me. I know that other people, it can take a longer time, especially if you don't have the network. Because I went to school, I was able, like, they kind of like hosted like network events and things like that. So I was kind of like able to put myself in a position where I could get that job faster. And from getting that job, then I talked to a lot of people while working at that company and then the company afterwards as well. And then I was able to make enough connections with people that now I have a bunch of contracts that go word of mouth. So it kind of snowballs in that way. So it's just sort of like getting that first contact, right? Then you'll be able to kind of figure it out from there. You just got to keep talking to people, and it's really hard for me to explain like what is the best way to network. In my opinion, it's like in-person networking and stuff. Second best is just do your best about putting yourself online and putting your best work online and interacting with other artists. You know, Twitter, I see a lot of artists reposting different jobs. Like they might not even make, like indie studios, for example, don't even like always post job postings on a formal like kind of like board or anything. They'll just be like, hey, drop your portfolios here or whatever, right? And then they'll look for people that way. So there's like a lot of different ways that you can kind of start trying to get your feelers out there, but it does take on average a lot of work. For me, I got lucky and I'm not going to deny that. So if you're not as lucky, you got to put in the extra work to get into a position where you can get more work. Yeah, recruiters pulling from ArtStation competitions, so that's good too, right? Like doing the challenges, the ArtStation challenges is really good as well. What school did I go to? I went to Sheridan College. Went to Sheridan College, and that was for 2D art, like animation, not 3D. So I was doing 3D on my own, learning it mostly on my own, and yeah. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take a break and then I'll be back and I'll continue this. And then you'll get to see Monty as well. Get up, stretch, do that thing. Don't get blood clots. Make sure that you're nice and limber so that you don't get a broken neck or whatever. And I'll be back. Okay, let's hit you with the Monties. Say hi. Alright, here is the magnificent Monty. All the time. All the time, we're sniffing for the treats. There's a little treat bowl over there, and he always does his like backwards, like, can I reach? Can I do it? There he is. There's the lazy boy. There's the lazy boy. Come on. Sit up. Ooh. Yeah, he's a potato sack. He's a flower sack. Ain't you? You little flower sack? Good little flower. Savage guardian. Yeah, he's a good. Thank you, Frank. We'll continue very shortly, but Monty wants the treats. Look at his eyes, man. You see it, like the treats like just like open and he's just like, oh holy shit. Licky lippy. Licky lippy. Licky lippies. He is, he's a pretty boy. Oh. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. He wants it, baby. You want it? Can you do something for me first? Can you give me a kiss? Can you give me a kiss? Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Can you do that? Give me a kiss first. Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss? Oh my goodness. Yeah. We always do intermission with Monty before we start sculpting again, because 4 hours is a long time. A brutal slobber? He actually doesn't drool that much. It's really surprising, I know. But he's not very much of a drooler. Na 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 na. You think, but you gotta do something for me. Mr. Magoober, can you look directly into the camera and can you give me a boop? Wow! He's a pro at that. He's so good at it. You can give me boop? What? Boop? Wow, fits directly. Yay! Alright, I'm gonna get back to work. You, sir, you on the ground. How about a high five? And one more. Woo-hoo. Back to work. If anybody has any questions or anything as I'm doing stuff, feel free to ask. I think I'm gonna like tune in a little bit more unless like some stupid thing comes up again. Okay. Woo. peanut butter and honey on a thick slice of bread, he'll find his slobber gene. Like it's like, so he does like drool a little bit, but it's nothing like previous dogs that I've had. Like, and it's funny too because he's not that big on peanut butter. It's weird. I don't know. He likes ice cubes more than he likes peanut butter. Very interesting dog. How do I raise edges on armor? You understand the mask extract ZBrush, but how do you then go to having nice polished raised trims? Or is this all after retop? So like raised, so you're asking like a strictly like polished hard surface question, right? There is like something that you can do, which, let me see if I can do this real quick. We do group, polygroups, group by normal. Okay, so let's say you had your groups already separated like this. Then something that you can do in stroke curve, is it the stroke? Trying to remember. I have these things are like, I don't do this very often, so it's hard for me to remember, but there's like something where you can just kind of like, I don't know if Ian is still here, he probably knows how to do this. Is it in modifiers? Frame mesh, there it is. So if you frame mesh, and then you go in and grab like I don't know, let's say a curve brush of some kind, you can easily just like put your like curve flat or so, maybe not curve flat. Let's do like let's grab, where's my curve brushes? Curve tube. Curve tube? Hello? Am I dumb? Where's curve tube? Thank you. Alright, so then, okay, it's too big. You could literally just like frame your meshes and do stuff like that, right? And then after that's done, you split them off. And then go into Z modeler. And then I always have it on insert, but you can go down to delete, edge loop complete. And then you can kind of start like just like editing it based on like what kind of a bevel you want for these things, right? You do something like that, and then grab over here, do insert, single edge loop, give it some love here. And then if you go over to geometry, and then you go dynamic, then you have something that's pretty clean all the way around, right? And so you could literally do that with like any shape, as long as you have, you know, separating your polygroups makes it easier. Is this just a fun sculpt, posed, rendered, or like game ready? Oh, it's just for fun. Yeah, you don't want to use this inside of a production without cleaning it up. Dogs have such strong taste buds that they can taste water, whereas we can't. I'm sure that that's, like, that would make sense. Like, if they can, like, pick up on the different minerals inside of the water, that makes perfect sense. They don't have necessarily stronger taste buds, they have different ones, right? Like there's a bunch of things that they can't necessarily taste that human beings can. So it's interesting. A lot of their experience comes from their smell, they can almost like see with their smelling. Like they smell so intensely that it's almost like eyesight to them in a way. So it's kind of cool. You need to remember when not to sculpt. Yeah, you can do stuff like easy like this. And if you have a curve brush that already is flat, then all the more power to you. Noob question, what are the Z-spheres useful for? Z-spheres are great for blocking things out. You could also like do like a rudimentary kind of rig with them to pose, but I don't really like do that. Z-spheres are also good for like putting a base down so that you can do retopology. But for the biggest thing is just really like blocking out a base form. That's what they're really good for. Yeah, usually, so Lee, a lot of the time when I'm doing hard surface stuff, I try to think of like, what primitive can I use? And then I can delete from that and then add into it later. You know what I mean? I try to keep it as simple as possible for as long as possible. And if there are any like inserts or anything that needs to happen, if it can be on its own subtool, then that's perfectly great, because then that's like a non-destructive workflow, which is gonna make your life way easier. Because, you know, if you're doing something for a client, it's kind of a nightmare when you're dealing with hard surface and you've gotten to that stage of cleanup and you're not working non-destructively. Because all of a sudden they'll be like, actually, we don't want this trim, we want this trim. And you're like, oh, do you? Have I tried using Monty to hunt truffles? No, but there's this thing that I have. Sorry about that. It's like this. This is called a snuffle mat. Okay, so now you've seen it, I'm gonna put something for him. I have one treat that I can do for him. So it's called a snuffle mat. This thing, and you just like break up pieces of treat and you just shove it in there, like just shove it all the way to the bottom, all over like this mat, and then he just kind of like digs for it, and it's sort of like a fun little mind game. Like if I'm like working or something and he's like bored, I'll just like shove some treats in like the mat, and then he's like busy for like 15 minutes just like sniffing through, trying to find them in this thing. And like I said, like if he was like a super drooly dog, this mat would be disgusting by now because we've had it for a while. It's still super soft. Like he doesn't... It's weird. He's not typical. I swear, this dog is not typical. All right? Want this? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, so he's gonna sniff through that now. Good boy! Where's my pen? Fill this up a little. Actually, I'm really curious. Probably get some like interesting. Cloth twister brush? Nah, I'm not gonna mess with that. But where is that other cloth brush that I was talking about before? The ball one. Yes. Let's get really trypophobia. Yeah, I've heard of that. People keep asking me if I have that because I keep referring to, I don't think I do have that, but, when I, like seeing colors and, like, immediately thinking of, like, the reason why, like, when I say something like this, like, is crispy and crunchy and, like, chewy or something like that is because I genuinely see that texture and feel that, like, I imagine feeling that mouth feel. I don't know I don't know how to explain that. Like, certain colors just look, like, really delicious and juicy and, like, I don't know, it's weird. I'm pretty sure everybody has that to, like, some extent, though. It's kind of the same as, like, the people who say that they can't, like, what's it called? They can't imagine anything in their head, or, like, it's like, oh, like, I don't see it as, like, clear as I see every vision in front of me right now with my eyeballs. And then immediately they think that, like, there's something wrong with them because of, like, whatever that stupid apple test is. You know, like, where you see the apple as being gray or and blurry, or it's, like, a fully, like, red juicy apple or whatever. But it's just kind of like, no, you're probably fine. You probably don't have that, like, thing where you just literally don't have an inner like mind, like a inner vision or whatever. It's not that thing. So there's, like, a very small percentage of people who don't have that ability to actually, I don't remember what it's called, but they don't have the ability to actually see something in their head. Like, they can't imagine, they don't dream, nothing like that. Like, they can't see in their mind. But then, like, there's obviously, like, people who are just like, oh my god, it's, like, kind of dark for me, but it's just like, yeah, it just means, like, you haven't practiced, like, imagining. So I think that's kind of the same thing with, like, the what's it called, the synesthesia, something, I don't know how to pronounce that. But I feel like that's the same thing, where it's just like something looks like something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, like, you have that weird brain connection thing. Aphantasia is the thing. Yes, exactly, aphantasia. I think a lot of people think they have aphantasia, but the thing is, like, if you can even, like, imagine something, like, visually at all, then you don't. It's just, like, all these online tests that are, like, making everyone, like, self-diagnose with things. Yeah, they can't visualize. Some people can't talk in their head either. I feel like that, like, Pencil, I feel like that is in the same category, isn't it? Like, if you can't, like, hear anything in your head, you can't see anything in your head. I think what people get confused with, too, is when they hear, like, somebody saying, like, oh, I can see something in my head. They think, like, it's going to look exactly like what your eyeballs are doing. You just, like, immediately, like, go inside your brain, but you're using your eyeballs in your brain. It's like, it's not the same. It's like abstract. Like, you know that it's a clear picture. Like, I have a strong visual memory, right? But that doesn't mean that, like, what I see in my head is, like, the same as, it's just, it's a confusion based on, I guess, semantics. I don't know. It's just funny because like I see these like tests, right? And then I'm just imagining like, you know, like all of these like people who would get off Facebook and then go down for dinner and just be like, guys, you know, family, I have something to tell you. I think there's something wrong with me. All my life, I haven't seen a clear image in my head. Oh man. How'd I just sculpt that and get a mask? No. I put a mask down underneath and then I just pulled. And that created the sculpt. So I was more okay. So I do a bunch of different things. I am an illustrator. I wear multiple different hats essentially, but all within the art category. So when we talk about like what is my title, I just call myself a freelance artist, right? Because I do multiple different things. Right now, I'm doing a lot of design and concept work in 3D, but I also do character art as a whole, like the whole package, right? I've been in surfacing, I have done like the full modeling shebang, right? But then lately it's been more along the lines of specifically art based. So what you need me for, I'm here, boss. That sort of a deal. I just like making art. One of the coolest things too was one of the clients that I was working with recently. They let me try a bunch of things. Like they really let me experiment, and they gave me the reins to really like just see like, hey, like can you do a movie poster? Like, hey, can you do like a full-blown illustration for marketing? Like, can you do all of this? And it's just like, turns out they were pretty happy with it. So yes, and because of that, they kind of just like have been sending me all sorts of things. Illustration to, you know, sculpt for production, etc. It's really cool when you can find a client that lets you explore like that. You're trying to figure out what's good for your future. How I started in 3D animation at your college. Wait, you're like me, you starting 3D animation at your college, you don't like that, so you're into character art? Yeah, that's totally fair. So as long as like you're really like into it, like really into it, so I'm gonna tell you right now, like I got lucky because and I mean I was very headstrong too, like don't get me wrong, like when I was in school I got like heckin' rejected. When I was in 3rd year we were supposed to get an internship, and I must have applied upwards of 100 places. Like I was just trying really hard to get an internship, but I was really bad. I was really bad at 3D. I sucked at 3D and nobody wanted me, and that's completely fair. It's totally valid, but it lit a fire under my butt because I was like, well, you know what? Like I really need to learn more. And so I kept kind of working on my own time, which was like a lot. It was pretty intense doing that and my final year film at the same time, because I wanted to make my final year film in 3D, which again, I was a 2D animation course, like college. So just saying, screw it, I'm going to do all of this in 3D. That was a lot. I had to teach myself a lot, right? The film itself, not super great, but I ended up getting enough knowledge and skill out of that to then have some sort of a portfolio to then get a job right out of school. But here's the caveat, is right after school ended, I was going to a lot of networking events and just shoving my portfolio in a lot of people's faces and being as charismatic and nice and welcoming and just like, you like me, don't you? As possible. And eventually one place stuck. So that's how I ended up getting like out of school, like I ended up getting a 3D job. I was just like, yeah. You did a degree in animation, but ended up doing the modeling for the bigger projects. Since then, you've been trying to juggle 3D environment art, learning character art, and music. Can't make up your mind. Brandon, I 100% understand that struggle. I'm all over the place, like, as well. Like, I want to do too many things. And, you know, that's kind of the spice of life as well. And I would never try to say and take that away from you either. The fact that you like so many different things is fantastic. You know, like, I don't see what the problem with that is. I mean, with the system and making money and everything, obviously you need to kind of find what kind of a gear for the machine do you want to be, right? So in that case, it's like, which of all of those things that you like would you mind the least if you ended up not liking it as much for a passionate reason? You know what I mean? Like, if you had to give up a little bit of that like artistic flair for you know, giving the reins to somebody else, like an art director or like, you know, producers and things like that, which one of those would you be more willing to let other people influence you on, right? And then maybe guide yourself towards getting a job that way. Because when it comes to artistic endeavors, it is, to me anyways, like, I'm the kind of person where it's just like, I really like making my own stuff because I want some sort of an outlet of expression. But if I'm always doing the same thing, I end up really wearing myself down. Some people can really just sit there and they just love character modeling specifically so much that they'll just keep doing character modeling. Even on their own free time, they just love it so much. It'll just be character modeling. I'm not like that. Like, I'll do a bunch of sculpts, but then I just really want to paint, and then I'll do a bunch of painting, and then I'll just really want to draw, and I'll do a bunch of drawing, and then I'll really just want to go and like build something. You know what I mean? Like, I want to keep making it flow, and there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. It's just sort of like, for your job, like, can you pick something and just focus in on that? So for me, it's been sculpting, right? Do I use Transpose Master for just static render final offline renders, or do you from Pose? Do I use Transpose Master or just static render final offline? So you're asking, like, do I pose my characters after the fact, like something like this is symmetrical, and then after the fact for render, do I pose it? Yes, I do. I usually don't do like static renders unless the client asks for that specifically. Like, they're like, no, we need to see it like our riggers are looking at it at the same time. Like, we want to see it like static. Then I'll do it static. But a lot of the time in R&D stuff, just to sell a project, you're gonna want it in pose, because then, you know, it gives it more life. And execs can kind of look at that and be like, oh, I can see it now, right? Whereas if you give like an exec a T-pose thing, they're gonna be like, this looks lifeless and dead. Can we add this, you know what I mean? So it's like, somebody said it really well. Somebody said it like the ability to squint. I don't know who that was. Maybe it was Brendan said that? I'm not sure. Somebody said that and it stuck with me. I love that. It was just like, the execs don't have the ability to squint at, you know? They can't see. They don't have the artistic eye. You did a degree in animation, ended up doing the modeling for the bigger... No, got that. if I have to continue studying at college because you feel like it's a bit of a waste of time. If you've already started college, finish it. That's my opinion. If you've already started it, just like see it through. But if you're considering going or not, that really just like is the school even worth it? You know, like do they have what's it called? Professors that would be good references for you? Would they be able to teach you because they themselves are still working in the industry or have recently worked in the industry? A lot of problems come with schools is they'll hire people to be like art professors that aren't necessarily in the industry, and so they're not up to date with things. And that's kind of like, you know, like you could just go online and learn these things, right? The positive about schooling that I do know is the network, right? So if the school that you're going to, does it have a good network? Like, it's not just enough for a school to say, oh, 80 to 90% of our students are employed now. That comes with an asterisk, because it's just like, okay, like, employed how, though? Did they go into what they wanted? Or is it just like they have a job? You know what I mean? But if you're already in school, keep in mind, too, if it's like a bachelor's program of some kind, that's still worth it for if you're deciding to try to get a visa anywhere. Bachelor degrees make getting visas and living elsewhere a whole lot easier. Hey, Nicholas, no problem. So you sculpt asymmetrical, then use transpose, or sculpt straight into pose? It could be really anything, Lee. So sometimes I'll do asymmetrical. It really just depends on what the subject matter is. Most times, though, I'll just kind of like do something like this, and then I'll pose it afterwards with Transpose Master, or I will start masking things and use the pizza boxes here to move multiple bits and pieces at the same time. Hey, Divine! Yo, no worries. Like, honestly, it's been a while since I've been streaming anyways. Oh, sorry. Hiccups. My vocal cords aren't used to talking this much anymore because of the friggin' pandemic. Ah! Yeah, Hassine, like, that's just it, right? Is certain schools you wonder, like, is it worth it? I would not say to just kind of like leave if you've already started, though, again, because like you're getting a bachelor's, right? The big thing is just like take the time that you have while you're in school to try and network as much as possible. Like if you're in like a 3D course, chances are there's gonna be a couple of people from that course that are gonna go to like some really crazy cool jobs, you know? Like it's good to make friends. It's good to ensure like all of this. It's not just for like, you know, the future. Oh, I'm being friends with you just in case you get a job at like Naughty Dog or something, you know? Like you're not doing that. I'm saying like it's good to build a network because of that. But it's also good for you as a person to just talk to people and get to know people, you know? Like even if you're antisocial in some way, making connections with people, we're human beings, man. Like, it's what we need. We need social interaction. I don't care what you say against that. Like, even me, I'm a hermit, but I recognize I'm human. It's in our nature. We need interaction with people, right? And so the thing that's interesting about school is, like, you're in a whole new environment, and you kind of learn with a whole bunch of different people that you're used to being around. So that's great, right? That's the other plus to school, is you're learning from a pool of people that you otherwise wouldn't have been around. And they all like the same thing that you like, you know? They're all artists or whatever. But, you know, it's the cost, and then it's also the professors. Is it even worth it? Blah, blah, blah. So there's pros and cons. Mostly cons. Unless it's a very, very legitimate school. Like Nomen or something. How does one establish themselves as a freelance artist and work remotely? I'm assuming that would be more difficult to establish than getting a job in a studio. That depends on where you live. So something interesting that I learned when I went to Mexico to present there for Drawbreak is talking to the people in Mexico. I found out that a lot of the artists there actually, it was more common for them to get freelance work before a studio job. Like, they were really trying to get a studio job, but it was more likely that they were going to get freelance work. That's what they were telling me. And so like, I was very interested in that, because it is completely opposite here, where a lot of people try, like, you know, with all the schools and everything, a lot of people try to get a studio job first, and then they just want to leave and do freelance, you know? So it's totally different. It really depends on where you are. If you're somewhere like Mexico or Russia or Brazil, you know, you're gonna end up getting like a lot of outsourcing studios that kind of like say, okay, we're just gonna get like a place with like a lower cost of living, so that the cost of artist is not as much. In my opinion, a little bit skeezy, right? But that's what happens. So you're more likely, let's say, if you're in a different place than the UK or the US, or, you know, somewhere where a lot of these studios are, if you're in a place like that, you're more likely to get freelance work. And the way to do that is by having socials online and just being a badass online, right? Whereas the other way around here, you're more likely to get studio work, right? Because there's like things with you know, like for example in Canada, in Ontario, in the film industry, they actually try to keep the jobs within Ontario. They try to bring more jobs within Ontario by hiring people within Ontario. You have a tax break for the studio, right? And so that's where they're like, there's a little bit of interesting things regarding that. And so it really just depends on where you are. But to everyone, everywhere, I just recommend putting your stuff online. I'm going to keep saying it, because like networking is obviously the thing that you want to do, but it's not like a super straightforward thing to like answer and say, this is how you do it. I'm sure some people will have like that way of approaching this conversation, but that's not me, because like I don't really know if like a lot of what like happened with me was luck, right? I mean, I was putting myself online a lot. Like I was streaming, I was posting stuff on Instagram and things like that. But a lot of my my freelance work came from the connections that I made while working inside of studios. And when I got my studio job, that was from out of school, but it was also my own doing, because I was really headstrong about like working on my own stuff, making my own portfolio, and just like really like throwing myself at studios. So Kuaz, so sorry, my voice. Ooh. Yes, exactly, Angelus. People who are actually interested in your style and what you like to do will come to you. It's going to take a lot of time. You know, like you could try to fast track this. So this is also to you, Kuaz. You could try to fast track this by creating a portfolio that caters to the type of studio that you want to work for. Like if you wanted to work for Blizzard for whatever reason, then you would cater your portfolio to Blizzard. Me personally, I'm against that. I don't like telling people to do that because that's just like, if you're an artist, that's kind of like soul crushing in my opinion. Like you're gonna like the razzle dazzle kind of like wears off after getting your initial job after the first year. I don't mean that in like a jaded kind of way. It's just one of those things where it's just like, you know, you look more for like a cool team to work with than necessarily a project. You know? So maybe it is like your dream job to work on a specific game or whatever, and that's cool and stuff, and for that specifically I say then you really do need to like cater your portfolio, but I don't necessarily think that's like the greatest idea for you as an artist, right? I don't think that will make you happy in the long run. So I would recommend, obviously there's like basics that you need, right? You need to know your anatomy if you're going to be a character, if you want to be a character artist in general, maybe not for like any particular studio, you just want to be a character artist, in which case I would say you do need your anatomy, you need to, you know, get your topology going. But in terms of subject matter, focus on what you like and hone in on that and then expand from there, right? And the more of that you do and challenge yourself within the bubble of things that you like, and you do a lot of it, it won't just encourage you to keep doing more, but it'll attract the people that you will want to work for and with and have the best time on their projects and things like that, because it is a two-way street, right? A lot of people, you know, think of this like, oh, you're working for a studio, so be grateful and things like that, but it's a two-way street, right? Like there has to be respect on both ends, and if you're going to work as an artist doing art that you really don't even like, you could go into any other profession, because art is a very passionate thing, and getting that exploited or getting that kind of like twisted and shoved into the dirt, it's not something that I would recommend personally, because I am a very passionate person when it comes to my art and what I like to do and express myself with. So if you can't find that matchup, then it's not going to be great, right? So that's what I would say is, like, when you're looking for a job outside of school, like just getting outside of school, think like, is this something that I'd be interested in? Is it something that I really want? And if you can't get that job right away, don't feel like defeated. You know what I mean? Because here's another thing to think about. How many schools, and I know I have barely worked on this. I'm losing my voice. I've been talking so much during this session. I promise I'll work a little bit more on this in just a sec. But how many schools do you think there are for 3D artists nowadays? Like, let's just say there's 100, which is, there's much more, right? Let's say there's 100 schools. Every single year, each school will have a class of maybe a minimum of 50 to upwards of 500 people, depending on where you're going, right? Every single one of those schools, every single year, is releasing this wave of students just like you. And so if everybody is making orcs, if everybody's making fantasy girls, if everybody is making the next Blizzard style or whatever, like, if everybody is making the Disney style, what are you doing that is making you stand out? Who are you as an artist? And that's where it's just like, do you really want to work extra hard in that one lane that everybody is funneling into? Or do you want to branch off and do what it is that you like to do? So if you do really want to do that, like, hyper focus, like, I want to be a really good commercial artist kind of thing, good, great, you've made up your mind, you figured it out, that's awesome. In which case you have to, like, really work your butt off. Like, I hate, like, that's like the only way around it. There's no easy way to just, like, beat this horde of other students that you're running with, you know what I mean? So I would just say, like, just figure it out. What do you like to do? If you don't know what you like to do more sketching, do more research online, like look at pictures, look at things. What excites you? Is it like, even like, do you like robots? Do you like cars? Do you like fish? Do you like, you know, all of this kind of stuff? And just put that, do more of that, do a whole bunch of stuff that you like to do, and then expand on that, right? But the core of all of this that I'm saying is invest in yourself before you invest outside, right? And that's really important as an artist. But oh, right, again, and what I was gonna say too is, if you are getting rejected a whole bunch, it's okay, it's okay. Don't lose hope. It just means you just gotta keep working harder at the stuff that you like to do, and it might take you a really long time. I don't think that you should just get a job in art, even if it's something that you don't like, just so that you have a job in art. If there's another avenue that might not take up your entire day or entire night, that you could offset your income while you're, you know, doing your art, so that you can get a job that you actually like, that's what I would recommend, you know, instead of just like doing whatever, because you're just gonna fizzle out. Like in the games industry, even in animation, honestly, the age where people just kind of like fall off, it's pretty young. Like people like burn out in this industry, and I think a lot of it is like this artistic drain. You kind of, because like artists like attach themselves so heavily to what it is that we do, and we're so involved in our creation, like our creation process. When that goes into the pipeline and you're working day after day on something that isn't necessarily yours, but you're told to put yourself in it, it can cause, like, over a long period of time, a wear on you as an artist. Like, a lot of the time I have issues of asking myself, like, who even am I? And I just gotta take a break from stuff and just like recenter and figure it out, because it's so easy to just like lose yourself in commercial work. And this is very much a artsy way of approaching this. So if you disagree with this, if you're more of a craftsman, right, that's okay too. Because there's two ways of looking at this industry. From a craftsman's point of view, where you just do what it is that you need to do and you're very focused on it technically being as sound as possible. Or you're more of like an emotional side, more like artsy kind, like me, where you feel a little bit more like you need space. You need less of like a straight line to your destination, essentially. So it depends which, like, what kind of, like, are you like an artist, artsy artist, or are you a craftsman artist, right? And so gotta approach it that way too. Talking so much. Okay. Hey Liz, oh my god, I'm actually voice, can you hear it? This is embarrassing. I haven't been talking at all. Like, I've lost the baritone to my voice. It's not, oh my god, you can hear it. Like, the baritone is gone. Oh no. I'll be in a meeting tomorrow. They'll be like, what happened? Were you partying? I'm like, no, I was teaching the youth. Oh man. Like, that's literally, I have not been talking at all. Oh my god, this pandemic has destroyed me from the inside of it. Yeah, Placido, I 100% understand that feeling and that sentiment as well. And you just, sometimes you just need to say, you know what, screw it. I'm like going on a break. Like, I know, like, maybe like even financially it won't be like the greatest thing, but if it's really bothering you that much, if you can afford it, do it, because it'll just make you happier in the long run. If you're like artsy like that, right? Where do they end up after burnout? Honestly, people can they go all sorts of places, do all sorts of different things. But not everybody stays inside of the industry. They, you know? Like, there's a lot of people that I know, actually, I'm not gonna name names either, but a lot of people that I've worked with that literally they are taking schooling for something completely different as they're working, you know, at a studio. And they're just like, I'm working on getting out of this industry. Like, I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna do something else. I've known more than a handful of those people as well. So it's like, you know. In Australia, where it's kind of easy to get in a university for games as long as you are passionate. Oh, nice. No, then that's great. That's good. Make sure that the university, though, again, like, you make sure that it's worth it when you're, oh, my voice. But yeah, the biggest thing is if you like doing something, like, you know, within reason, of course, don't be like weird about it, but if you like doing something, don't just drop doing that because somebody else said it was like, it's not gonna get you anywhere. Because I'll tell you right now, now, let me put this. Wait, actually, before I get into that, the Rookies has a great list of schools. I found this out like a couple months ago. The Rookies. Hold on. The Rookies has like approved VFX animation and game schools list. So if you're thinking about it, these would be the top tier ones to consider, right? Because again, it really, really just depends on what the heck, like, do you have the money to spend? Like, is it really worth it? Because I can promise you, most schools are just gonna offer you specifically like a structure. I don't know. Some of them are online. You can do online schooling. You don't necessarily need to get a bachelor's, right? You can do online schooling. If you need that structure, schooling might be for you, right? But I can promise you most of this stuff you can find online if you are disciplined enough. That's the caveat. Are you disciplined enough? I know a lot of people are not. They'll just sleep. I'm one of them. So sometimes I'm one of them. Sometimes. If I'm passionate about it, then nothing will get in my way of learning that new thing. Currently, I'm trying to figure out what would be an affordable way to start getting myself into astrophotography. Out of all things I could be interested in doing, like hobby-wise, why did my brain go like, the most expensive, please? Photography? No, make it astrophotography. So you need telescopes and star trackers. Like, great. So, yeah. How long have I been doing 3D design? Like design? I mean, like, I've been doing it on my own for like 7 years, but like actually like professionally, I'd say 4. Oh, what was the thing that I was gonna... I don't even remember what I was gonna say before. Oh well. Yeah, build an online presence. Like, and when I say build an online presence, it doesn't mean you have to start a YouTube channel. It doesn't mean you have to be a streamer or anything like that. I mean, like, put your artwork online, figure out smart ways to hashtag it so it's in the niche it deserves to be in, so that when people look for that niche, they will see you. Like, you'll see at least one of your pieces. I actually started only recently, because Eric said, like, you're being really dumb for not doing this, is I'm actually hashtagging my work with, like, my handle or my name, right? So that when people look it up, they'll see, like, my work. They'll, like, look up my name. It goes both ways, right? So think like that. You know, you have to start getting a little bit, like, savvy in regards to social media as well, and advertising yourself. Yeah. Creative burnout is if you're this craftsman type artist, you're reasonably adept at computing, learn how to program, become a tech artist. Oh, there you go, Liz. Yeah, actually. Yeah, yeah, a lot of more craftsman type artists do well as tech artists. I agree. They're very adept at material creation, I find, as well. They're very good at, like, realistic type yeah. Yeah, sorry. Fucking my voice is just gone, dude. Is 3060 is just good. Like, Craver, it's good. If you have a 3060, like, good for you. What, are you coming in here and flexing on me? Like, what are you doing? Are you flexing on all of us? 30 is a 3060 good. I don't know. No, I think, sorry, my bad. You need a 172. Like, it's a 3060 good. No, it's not. It's bad. Very bad. Very, very bad. You should just give it to me. You should mail it to me. Oh, nice. Nice, Moon. Yeah, 1070 is perfectly fine. I have a 2070, I'm doing great. So if you have 3060, just stop. Don't even ask, you're just flexing. You're just coming in here and going like, are my boobies big? Like, what do you want us to say? Okay, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Yeah, a lot of it's CPU and RAM specifically. So get yourself some good RAM and you're good. Gotta love them chip shortages. Gotta love that Delta variant. Yeah, ZBrush can honestly run on potatoes. Okay, I'll finish this one. I'll bring that over as well. Is it possible for a portfolio? I don't really do that on these segments. Let me see if I can do something here. But feel free to send me a message on any of my socials with like, oh, you know, what you have questions with. That kind of works, but I don't think I want to do that. Just playing around. You always just use some of Pablo's old brushes. Man, these are like old. These are some of his first ones that he's ever made that I downloaded, and they're still like great for like damage. Love using this. I use it a little bit wrong, but not as intended, but not as intended, yeah. It's literally like most of the stuff that I do not as intended. Ah, scalpers and the crypto farmers, look at them go. Look at them go with their 360s on 360s. Whatever. Variant, I think TVA. Many countries with GPU manufacturers get another lockdown, we're doomed. Well, didn't China already just get one? I'm pretty sure China's in another, like they had like a outbreak Delta, and they're just like, that's where another chip shortage is coming. I don't know, man. I mean, we all know that, like, that Reaper, where, like, I mean, they're still doing their whole research thing. I literally don't even care at this point. It's just like, can everybody just get your medicine? Alright. Hey, Sergio. Oh yeah, Flip Normals is great. Good call. Flip Normals is awesome. Definitely check them out. Thanks, Jace. Is it JC? Sorry, my bad. Honestly, Ari, if I don't hear crypto again for like just a few months even, it'll be too short. It'll be too short. I just don't want to hear about crypto anymore. It's like, oh my god. Like, again, all of this is like personal opinion. I mean, like, good for the people who are making money off of it, I guess, but it's just like the sort of intense mentality that comes from the crypto stuff, like the NFTs and everything. I'm just like, dude, it's like cult level. Like, what happened? Like, I know it's an art movement, sure, great, it's literally an art movement, congratulations, but like, why is this like a weird emoji cult? It like weirds me out when I see posts for like NFT sales and stuff. It's like it's a very specific way of using emojis, and I'm like, this is cult? It's a cult! Buzzwords, dude, I know. Drops, baby. How do you do filigree patterns on clothing, or is it always done in Substance later? Yeah, I usually don't, like, filigree stuff, you could use with, like, a really high-res, alpha, and then mask off and do, like, noise, like or apply it, on the UVs with a mask. But, like, if you can get away with doing it in Substance later, then it'll be cleaner. It'll be easier. Not necessarily cleaner, but it's like, if you're just gonna have to displace that anyways, and you're going from an alpha anyways, just do it in the texture phase. That's my opinion anyways. Yeah, you have the weak spot, Crypto Knight, yes. Yeah, like, I see some use, like, I was seeing some use for it, but now it's gotten to a point where it's just like, it's so exploited that I'm like, oh god, keep that away from me. Anything like crypto, NFT, anything, it's like, get away from me. I can't. Like, especially since it's like, it's kind of doing exactly what it sought out, like, to not do, which was like kind of gatekeep artists from like, it was like, oh yeah, now like every artist is free to, you know, sell, and it's like a good thing for artists, like all artists, but like the reality of it is that there's gas prices, and then if you don't sell your artwork, you literally just paid like upwards of $300 just to like list it, and then on top of that too, you have to literally cater to the people who have the money in crypto in order to even sell what it is that you want. Like, you literally have to be like, okay, what are the whales looking for today? It's not retrowave anymore. That's out of the box. What is it now? Is it like babies? Is it women? What is it today? You know what I mean? So it's like, ugh. Like, regardless of how you look at it, you're still like catering to, you're still making art a commodity, and that's what is just like, Counter-Strike crosshairs. Nice. Yeah, I hope it'll change too, Ori, but I don't have any hope. I don't have any, like, conviction in it, I guess. Did I find working freelance before the pandemic have much of an impact on your social life since working from studio meet people? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm a total shut-in. I have literally no friends, Brandon. I'm not even joking, guys. Like, I have no friends. Everybody I talk to now is online. I have no friends. Oh, man. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like talking to people is great. It's really good. No, you're my brother. But yeah. Oh, my back. It's all about chasing that carrot. You're still not free to make and sell what you like to. Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. You can't have friends, get some enemies. That's why I'm here, saying controversial things. Yeah, I don't like cryptocurrency. You heard me. Just sculpt some friends. That's what I do. Oh yeah, I'm sculpting my friend right now. Yeah, when I was in studio, I used to go out with like people all the time. We would do a lot of stuff. I would meet a lot of people even outside of studio. Always doing stuff. Now it's like, you know, there will be like, you know, industry events or mixers or whatever, and I'll get invites and all that, but you know, since the pandemic hit, nothing has been happening. But yeah, to answer that, I still socialize because I have an online presence, so I would still get invited to like industry mixers and things of that nature when they happen, so I could still like go out and socialize within the industry that way, which would happen. But otherwise, just like, you know, talking to people, it's like now I'm just the same as everybody else. I just talk to people on Teams, and if not Teams, then Discord, you know, like, ooh. All I need is Monty, alright? That's all I need. He will make my life a-okay. I agree. Who needs anyone? I just have my dog. Good social life. And you know, the caveat too is just like, if you have a dog, usually it's super easy to meet people because people are like, oh my god, dogs! And then you can just start talking to somebody or like go to the dog park and talk to people. But caveat is my dog is afraid of a lot of things. So if somebody comes up and tries to talk to us, I have to be like, oh, sorry, I have to go. Otherwise he starts freaking out. So it's like It's an icebreaker. Yeah, whatever. It's going. Sure. Am I into games? Any games right now? Not like I tried the Back for Blood beta. No. But besides that, casual, like a casual game that I've been playing is Mini Metro. That's fun as a casual game. Otherwise, like I've just been too busy to pick up anything new. But the Back for Blood beta, I was like, oh, maybe, you know, I played with Spliced in chat. We were like, oh, maybe it'll be good. And he was like, nah. Not for that price. Not for that price, baby! Age of Empires 4? Honestly, it's been a while since I played an RTS. So, nothing will be as good as the original Age of Empires. And honestly, even when Age of Empires was a thing, something that I played more of was Empire Earth. I loved Empire Earth, dude. Empire Earth was unbelievably good. Wow, you have such a beautiful head. We didn't do the PvP in before it's actually sick though. What in Back for Blood? Age of Mythology? Yeah. Yeah, I like Empire Earth was the RTS that my brothers and I would play together. Alien mech game, all epochs. Yeah, it was everything. So like you could literally go from prehistoric ages with rocks, like throwing rocks at each other, all the way up to like space age. Like it was wild. What creature is this? No, some bug thing. Kind of like a moth ant. Moth ant thing? Moth ant fungus thing? Oh, the PvP for Back for Blood is good? Okay. Well, I didn't try that. So I'll hold my breath on that. But the, yeah. The amount of bugs that I ran into was no bueno when I was playing that. But highly recommend Mini Metro. Oh my goodness. Has anybody else tried out Mini Metro? That is such a fun little, like, you can even get it on iOS. Hi, Zmater. Zmater. Didn't this start out as humanoid? I don't know, did it? I have no idea, dude. Mini Metro is Elon Musk brain the game. No, Mini Metro's great. What am I making this for? Any movie or something? Just personal work? Yeah, just for fun. We're just sketching. It's just something to do while people ask questions, you know. It's just something for me to lose my voice over, you know. Lawnmower Simulator! I saw that. I was like, oh my god, dude. Whose dad? Whose dad made this? Stray? You play as a cat? Yeah, I saw that. I saw it. Yeah, it looks cool. I just hope the cat doesn't get hurt, you know? Like, I hope he can't, like, get hurt as a cat. It's like if you were playing as a dog and then the dog dies. Like, no, man. No. Hey Jay, how are you doing? Hey, how's it going? Oh, that's another thing too. You see how like this has normal issues? Like you're moving it and like, let's say like you duplicated things but it's doing this. Like you can't mirror move things properly. Just mirror and weld it and it'll fix the normals. Yeah. Well, welcome back, Hassan. Welcome, welcome. Do you and the others stream here regularly? Yeah, so for me, it really just comes down to, do I have, like, am I drowning in work? If I'm drowning in work, then I will be not streaming on the Wednesday. So, typically I'm on Wednesdays at this time. So, bleh, hair. 6 to 10 p.m. EST is my slot, and then you know, other people have their, like, typical slots that they do as well. If you go onto, oh my god, my nose. Don't go onto ohmygodmynose.com, that's probably weird. Do we have a schedule? Yeah, so just... Okay, come on. I'm sorry. Here, I will get you a calendar. So if you just go onto here, you can get everybody when they're doing their thing all lined up. Do I follow other artists? And if so, some of your favorites. Dude, go onto my art station. go into my favorites and you can just like look at everybody. Like I follow 1,500 people on ArtStation. I know, when I woke up today and I was just like, I have to stream. What the heck? What the heck? Time is an illusion and I'm about to be dead. Time is crazy. You wanna get existential? You just like close your eyes for like a second. That's essentially like if you just go, that could be like billions and trillions and quadrillions of years. Let's get existential. Let's make you uncomfy. Just do this. There. Just quadrillions and billions and bajillions of years. Infinite number of years. Eternity within that blink. Hell yeah. That's that good shit. See, I like to think we're in like slow motion mode right now. Did you guys hear about the scientists who are doing stem cell research? They were able to create blobs of brain material that they were able to coax it. They were able to coax them to create eyeballs. Well, eyeballs. It receives like these little like things, these orbits, orbitals. They are able to receive light and transmit an electric signal to the rest of the brain blob, but it's not actual like vision. It's just sort of like a light sensory thing. It's kind of insane, right? But it also makes you think, like, if that thing were sentient, which it probably isn't. I mean, who knows? We don't really know what consciousness really is or where it stems from. Stem cell. But if it could be conscious in some kind of way, right? That begs you the question, like, how awful it would be to be a blob, a mutant blob in a petri dish, just having a flashlight shoved in your rudimentary eyeball orbs over and over again until it was time for the trash. Neat. Science rules. Bill Nye, science guy. Bill. We'll have xenomorphs yet. I don't think we should be celebrating something like that, though. It's not something we should be excited about. Alright, I don't really know what the heck to do now. I mean, like, I guess I'll just keep, like, squiggling. Well, isn't it like that Black Mirror episode of like the brain transfers to, like, you could live in eternity in a simulation if you just like transported your brain? But even that, I think, is like kind of weird, right? Like, people saying immediately that they do it. You're just sending a clone of your brain to it. You're not going to continue. The clone of your consciousness would continue. Like, I don't... Logically speaking, who knows what consciousness actually is, right? But just like, I don't know. Hey, NA, what's up? Taco Bell is sentient, I think. I mean, after Taco Bell in the bathroom, the results would arguably be sentient sometimes. I won't lie there, but otherwise, I don't know. Time Theory B states that it's that past and future just as exist as present. Essentially, that everything is overlapping, yes. That's the premise of the game Soma. Yes. Yeah, the idea of just like copying conscious, because it's like we don't know for certain that that's the way that it would be, right? Right? You can't know for certain for all these things, but theoretically speaking, logically speaking, you would be copying, like you're continuing forward a photocopy essentially. At least that's the way that like it's portrayed in media. It's like, I don't know. Do you want to be cruel to yourself like that? A clone of yourself anyways? Because it's not like you're the one continuing, they're sending a clone in. But, I don't know. I don't know. Send in the clones! Hey Karthi, well we're gonna be ending in like 10 minutes, so... You may... You've murdered a lot of burritos, dude. Oh, Taco Bell makes me sick, man. I don't know how... Guts of iron, I swear. What would you do if you had a clone in your disposition? If I had a clone in my disposition, what, like somebody who, like, just me? If I had myself that was in the same room as me, I would immediately hate her. I would immediately start criticizing her. Tell her to live a better life. Tell her to go free. Make friends. Don't give so much of a crap. Go, be free. Maybe change your name. Don't be me. So that we can live. Just go live. Go be you. Go be me being you. That's fine. Just maybe name change or something. Get a new social insurance number. Hey Galvin, how's it going? Like, honestly, I'm sure there's like a lot of answers of people who would be like, oh, I would do a lot of like nefarious things if I had a clone, because then I could do things and be in two places at once. And I was like, who has the time for thinking of that nonsense? Like, just let it go live its like clone-ass life somewhere. I don't know. As long as it gets a new identity, like, go be unhappy. Or be happy, I don't care. Just go away from me. To become an Instagram model? My clone could never. My clone is me. She could never. No, I couldn't have a clone of myself. I would actually drive myself insane. There is no way. I know I'm like way too annoying for myself. Dude, and I have like health anxiety too, right? Like, so if one of us ever got like sick or like assumed the other was sick, it would be like this never-ending spiral of like, we need to Google this. It would just be like, you're dying, which means you're dying, which means I'm dying, which means you're dying, which means we're dying. Like, it wouldn't be a good time. Realistic Pokemon? Nice! Sweet. Which one? Which Pokemon? Once you built an online presence for freelance, do you approach studios offering freelance work, or would that be counterproductive? Personal experience, I already have my network, so a lot of it's like word of mouth from people I have already worked with who recommend me to other people, or they've moved to a different studio. Otherwise, people come to me based on like my online presence. But I do know of people who approach studios as well and just like drop them their portfolio and say, hey, if you ever need a freelance artist, I exist. You know, I don't see that there's any harm in doing that with recruiters because it makes their life easier as well. Keep that in mind. Recruiters' whole job is to find candidates. So if you literally just put your package on their doorstep, then they're like, thank you, I'll add you to my list. I will add you to my pickings from for the next time that I go and start picking, you know? So there's no harm in that, in my opinion. Is that a final concept? B, we're just sketching. Like, it's just for fun. It's just sketching. If it were going in-game, things would change a little bit. It's just a sketch. Just a sketch. That's it. Imagine sculpting in ZBrush when you have another you criticizing. If another version of you was criticizing what you were doing, you could literally just turn around and be like, yeah, but you're doing it. Like, it literally, every interaction that you have with yourself would be a paradox. It would just, it shouldn't exist because it's just, you can't criticize yourself without realize, like, it's just like this, maybe not a paradox, but it would just be like this feedback loop, right? Like, it's just... Yeah, see, Link, that's exactly... But then your clone would get annoyed because it'd be like, I want to send you to do the 9 to 5, so you wouldn't. The best thing that you can do if you ever had a clone of yourself is just let it go. Live its clone life somewhere else, okay? Just tell it to get a different name. It can't have your name anymore. And go live. And if it didn't want to get a different name, then just suck it up. Just suck it up and go and get a different name. Your clone has a better portfolio than you. I would always be jealous of my clone. I would fall in love with my clone. I would marry my clone. God, I love myself so much. I would marry myself. Like, oh my god. Beanie beanie. Flippity 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 rotisserie buggery. Sorry, I just like I'm in the spot where I'm just like I don't really know what else I want to do with this right now. I could keep refining it, but we're so close to the end of stream that I'm like sorry. You're all talking about your own clones. Bunch of freaks. I don't want a clone. I don't want a clone. No, thank you. Not for me. Alright, I'm gonna put this guy up on screen the way that... I guess... here? Let's do it like this. None. Nah, this isn't good. Also, I know you're gonna ask. So yes, it's Shift S to do this. Control N to get rid of it. Shift S we go. Hell yeah. Nice. Okay. Alright. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done for today. I don't even know how to end today's stream, dude. Like, we went on to so many tangents. My voice is shot. I'm in need of water. It was fun today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for all the conversation. It was fun. It was great. I hope you had a good time. If not, I don't care. I'm kidding. Let me know if you have any questions, anything like that. If I didn't answer something, you could always drop me a thing over on one of these. They're on this side right here. In here. You see all this? This blue text? Yeah, any of those. Also, feel free to follow Pixologic, because there's a lot of other artists that stream here on the Pixologic channel, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch all at the same time, as I was tonight. So definitely follow them or subscribe whatever platform. And there is a 30-day free trial available for ZBrush if you liked what you saw and you want to try it yourself. There's also ZBrush Core Mini if you don't want any commitment, free for everything, no trial, blah, 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 blah. And it's a super stripped down version of ZBrush. If you've never done any kind of sculpting in 3D at all, you've never done any digital sculpting, it's very simple. It's only got a few buttons. It'll be easy enough to jump into. So ZBrush Core Mini is a good one to try out. And yeah, next week there's going to be a presentation on 2021.7. Bunch of new features coming. That was announced by Pixologic today, so they're gonna have a stream for that next week. That's what it is. All right. Okay. So drop into that, and I will see you guys later. Okay. All right. Good night. Bye.